I want to tell you guys, is that schmutz on my skin? That's peanut butter. This is a PSA. Clean your lens before every shoot. Let me tell you a funny story, actually a not so funny story that is funny in hindsight. So recently I was on a shoot for a client. It turned out surprisingly well. I'll just show you some of it.
Not at all. They're like the last thing on my mind. You're like chatting for a couple minutes.
And then I delivered it to the client. He said, you know, looks really good. Too bad there's a smudge on the lens. I wish I could say that my reaction was smudge, that doesn't happen. But my actual reaction was something along the lines of, are you kidding me? Needless to say, I wasn't happy about the news. Making mistakes, messing up is unfortunately just part of the learning process. Especially, I've been doing this for months now, and I've screwed up a lot. In this video, I want to just talk about 5 rookie mistakes that every filmmaker should make, but avoid making if they can. Number 1, having a dirty lens or sensor. Recently, I actually took a bunch of photos. After I looked into them, I noticed that there was like these little flecks of stuff. I'm pretty sure the sensor actually was a little dirty. If you shoot video, make sure you have this is like a cleaning pen. Make sure you also have these guys. They just kind of go across the sensor. Keep your sensor clean. Number 2 is crappy audio. It's really easy to do. I've made a lot of these mistakes already.
So when does it go away?
And it's really frustrating. If you're in a quiet room and there's not a ton of background noise, you can get away with something like this. This is like a roadie. My setups are not super complicated and expensive. I also have a Zoom recorder, which is phenomenal. Like this sound, if you just go back and forth with 2 people, if you're doing an interview, is great. But even better would be to hook this up with like a lav mic. Make sure you test out your levels before you start doing a lengthy shoot. Number 3 is having no depth in the background. A great way to kill the vibe of a video is to set people against a really boring background. It's so frustrating when you have to go back and be like, yeah, we can't really use any of this footage because it just looks like crap. Like this would be okay. This is fine. 4, horribly shaky camera. If you're having a shot that's handheld or something like that, make sure you're using something like a stabilizer, some sort of tripod. It's just, no, that's just not. This is on a Gorilla Pod, this is always good. Don't try to impress anybody with your handheld skills, you won't. Lastly, having a boring opening. If you don't capture somebody's attention in 3 seconds, then you're wasting time. Go to the snippet where you talk about, this is the hook point, this is why this thing matters, this is why it's going to be relevant to you, and put that at the beginning. Start with that.
7% of the girls are taking a year.
Lastly, I want to leave you with a few quotes from some brilliant minds about the importance of making mistakes. Give me 1 second, let me get dressed up for this one. I just threw a shirt on. A man should never be ashamed of saying, a man should never be ashamed to own. God, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm just gonna read off of the computer screen, okay? These are some quotes for you. A man should never be ashamed to own he has been in the wrong, which is but saying that he is wiser today than he was yesterday. Alexander Pope. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. John Powell. I hate making mistakes, and they're awful, and I want to die every time I make them. Abraham Lincoln. I'm just kidding. That's me. Yeah, that's a quote from me. If you like this video, respond with a comment that says I like this video. That would be funny because it takes a lot more time for you to write out I like this video than it does to hit the like button. So I would appreciate the irony.